Peace. Harold Taylor on making it happen. For real. Peace, Chris. All right. Peace, Ra. I'm trying to see how Taylor's viewing video now to invite him to your video. Okay. Peace, Curtis Weaver. Peace, Christopher. Hadia. Peace. Yo, Harold, man, I'm in your area, bro. This Saturday and Sunday, I think I'm going to pull up some flyers to read. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for this audience to build up. Peace, Calvin. Peace, Stephen Jackson, Stephen Jackson, Tracy D, Samuel Stevens. Oh, let me see. Okay. Pop, bing. 8960. Peace, Kerry Muhammad. Salute to you too. All right. Feel better with the hat on. Damn, I'm messing the hat up, like for real. Pulling the thread out of the Griff. But I'm trying to get to these flyers. I'm gonna wait till the audience build up. Peace, love. Peace. Soleil was good. You all right? Brother, get a veggie burger, a quesadilla, something, you know, some. But nah, the food was good. Peace. Do your belly dancing thing then. That's cool. I can't belly dance, but yeah, I'm just saying. Waiting for this thing to build up. We got a very critical show, very important show tonight. Hold on one second. In the meantime, between time, bruh, I made you some homemade coconut carrot. I ate it. Thank you. Really appreciate you. I'm healthy because of you. Thanks. Aisha Ra, peace, black woman. All right. You got to get back with me on that thing, Aish. All right. Letitia Whitley. All right. The divine name is Supreme Being. I want to greet everyone with a civilized greeting in a very uncivilized time. All right. Depending upon what school of thought that you're from, I want to greet everyone in peace. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Peace to Ernsta. All of those greetings. All right, Johnny Juice, peace. I wanted to let everybody know in the Capitol Heights, in the DMV area, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., certain parts of Northern Virginia, Maryland, I will be at Everlasting Life this Saturday and Sunday. All right, this Saturday and Sunday. All right, so the Solstice Bazaar at Everlasting Life Vegan Restaurant. Get your autographed copy of Symbology. Y'all already know what it looked like. Symbology. All right. We're gonna be talking about symbology. We're gonna be breaking down some symbols. I'm gonna cover some more symbols, some different kind of symbols. Of course, the ones that are right in your face that are hidden in plain sight. There's going to be different vendors on Saturday between 12 and 6. All right. So clothing, soaps, jewelry, books, whatever. All right. Now, you'll know I can't read that address unless I put these glasses on. 9185 Central Avenue, Capitol Heights, Maryland. There's Everlasting Life Restaurant and Lounge. All right. Y'all got to register, though. May Solstice Bazaar .eventbrite. May Solstice Bazaar .eventbrite.com. All right, that's Professor Griff Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, I'm going to be there from 11 to 2 up close and personal. You get a chance to do a Q&A. We're going to talk about the book. Whatever questions you want to ask, open. All right. So once again, MaySolsticeBazaar.eventbrite.com. It's brunch with Professor Griff. It's a vegan meal. So, all right. Peace to my man Stutter Man, Sean DeVore. All right. But it's a vegan restaurant. It's a vegan brunch. So come out. I don't know why they got Professor Griff eating pancakes on the daggone flyer, but it's a beautiful thing. But pay the ticket price online. It comes with the meal. Get a just chance to eat. John Trey, peace. We're going to dive into this thing in just a few more minutes. Tonight we got my sister Ramona Africa. So before we bring her on, I want to say shout out and peace, Black Power to my good brother Fred Hampton Jr. from the Shy. All right, from the Shy. Yo, I got some cats that just, yo, seriously, my man Coleon from the Wild 100s. That's my dude. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to reveal too much about the relationship, but yo, that brother be putting in work, man. So shout out to my man Coleon. I don't want to give me a whole name. From the Wild 100s. But all shout out to all my people from the Shy. Of course, Fred Hampton Jr. I want to give a shout out and a Black Power salute. And I want to say on the move to my sister Pam Africa and Rasa Khan, all right? Peace. My man B Son. All right, Michael Muhammad, peace, man. All right, Frank Muhammad, peace. I want to give a shout out to all of the FOI. I had an interesting conversation with my man Terrence Ali X from Virginia Beach. Yeah, we gotta make sure we sharpen up on our history, the history of the nation, the history of FOI, the history of movements around the globe that the Nation of Islam affected. We have to know those things. Even if you're just out on the corner slinging bean pies and selling fruit or slinging final calls. All right. We got to know the history. Plain and simple. All right. Shout out to all the FOI. Shout out to all the junior FOI. All right. This is a very critical time that we live in. All right. Tonight, with Brother Rich, I'm doing the 100 days of Donald Trump, excuse me. First 100 days of Donald Trump. All right. Just to let y'all know, if y'all don't know, FOI is a military training of men that belong to Islam in North America. If we don't even know the basic definition on what we're supposed to be doing by going out and becoming fishers of men to go save our people, that's a problem. All right. Just take off the bow tie for a minute, go back, press the reset button and renew your history, man. All right. Before we go out on the streets, because you become the representative of the entire nation of Islam when people meet you. All right. So that's just real. Know the history. When I came into the nation, late 70s, early 80s, I had to know the history of the nation going back to plant the root before I did my work in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. All right. All right. That's just it. That's a little tidbit I want to drop. All right. But the brother, very humble, very FOI-ish, beautiful spirit. Just basically said there's just some things he didn't know, but that was just the way me and Terrence were supposed to meet. I would like to have met him at the lecture. Shout out to the House of Consciousness. We had a beautiful lecture. Shout out to my man Eli, my adopted son. All right, in Norfolk, Virginia. All right. I mean, he just took to me in Soleil, and I guess we just got a child now. My man Eli, for real. All right, I'm gonna call the sister up, and we're gonna begin this program tonight, right now. We have Sister Pam, Ramona Africa, that I'm going to interview from the organization Move. If you don't know Move and what happened to Move in the 70s, all right. They're building up in the 70s, and then what happened in the 80s. All right. We're about to get that lesson tonight from our sister Ramona Africa. So I'm going to hit her up and just kind of talk about the Move organization, what they're about, what they've been doing, what happened in the past, what's going on in the present. And we're going to talk about John Africa. We're going to talk about Mumia Abu Jamal. We're going to talk about a few things. So let's just see if we can get the sister on the line. All right.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
Don't do me like that. Pam. Ramona. I keep thinking of Pam, Africa. Come on. Come on, Ramona. All right. In the meantime, while we get Sister Ramona, she probably saying, I don't even recognize this number. Who's this brother calling me? All right. But anyway, if you're on, please speak to Ramona Africa.
Speaking.
This is Professor Griff. How are you doing, sister?
I'm good. Busy, but it's all good.
Okay, I see you smiling. All right.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I love what I do, and I don't want to do anything else. So.
Oh, give thanks, sister. So right now we're on Google Live and we're on Facebook Live. So the people are hearing you loud and clear. And I just want to say for the record, I shouted out Fred Hampton Jr. I shouted out Pam Africa and Rasa Khan, and all the other brothers and sisters that are still part of the MOVE organization and that's sympathetic and empathetic to the revolutionary cause of not only MOVE, but all of the organizations that brought us to this point and that are still thriving and surviving this madness in the wilderness of North America.
All right. Long live revolution.
Exactly. So we're gonna get into this. I don't want to waste any more time. I want to dive right into this. For the people that don't know who you are, can you please explain to them who you are and what the MOVE organization is about?
Okay. As far as me, I am Ramona Africa, Minister of Communication for the MOVE organization. I am the sole adult survivor of the May 13th, 1985 government bombing and murder of MOVE, of my family. I am a former political prisoner as a result of surviving the massacre of May 1985. I am a representative of the international, uncompromising, concerned family and friends of Mumia Abu Jamal. Most importantly, I am a revolutionary. In terms of the MOVE organization, we are a revolutionary organization founded by John Africa, a black man, in the early 1970s, like 1971. And John Africa brought people together from various religions, races, social, economic backgrounds, from all different backgrounds.
Right.
And made us a family, cemented the bond of family with one common belief. And that belief is in the respect and reverence and protection of all life, with the understanding that there are no categories or separation in life. I mean, human life, animal life, plant life, marine life, the air that we can't live without, the water that we can't live without, the earth that feeds us, you know, all these things are life. And John Africa taught MOVE, gave us a common belief with the understanding that nothing is more important than life, and that anything that's alive should not be exterminated, poisoned, polluted, you know, should not be filled with toxic waste, you know, should not be slaughtered like animals are for their coats, as if their coats look better on us, on humans, than it does on the animal, the life that Mother Nature put it on. This is what MOVE has been fighting for and representing ever since MOVE. And it is because those running this system that we live under don't give a fig about life. Their God is money and status, that is where the conflict comes from.
Okay.
Despite what these people tell you.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you something for the people that are hearing your voice for the first time. We need to bring them up to speed, so to speak. So we're here in the present, but let's roll the clock back to May 13th, 1985, real quick. Let's do a synopsis of that, and let's bring it up to present, and then we can move on into the future. Is that cool?
Okay.
So
absolutely. People are told by this government that what happened on May 13th of 1985, the bombing of my family, happened because some neighbors of ours had complaints about us. Now, we're not denying that some neighbors had complaints about us. Yes, they did. But the point is, there is not one neighborhood in this country where some neighbor doesn't have a complaint or complaints about another neighbor. Secondly, since when has this government ever cared about black people complaining about their neighbors? Since when? But they want people to believe that a handful of neighbors complained about MOVE and got the local, state, and federal government to conspire together to come out to our home to kill us, to exterminate us.
Wow.
You know?
So
they don't care enough about black people to do that. There's something else happening here. And what's happening is our unrelenting fight for the release of our innocent sisters and brothers of MOVE, known as the MOVE 9, who were arrested in 1978 on the false accusation of shooting and killing a Philadelphia police officer, which they did not, and the government knows they didn't. And because we would not accept our family rotting in jail for a crime they didn't commit, because we wouldn't accept that quietly, they wanted to shut us up permanently. And that's why they came out to our home in May of 1985. On May 12th, they came out there on Mother's Day and start setting up their arsenal of war to kill MOVE people. They came out there with the cops had their sidearms, 357 Magnums. They had M16 rifles. They had shotguns. They had sniper rifles with silencers. They had a 50 caliber machine gun, a 50 millimeter armor piercing gun rifle. They had everything, including the makings of a bomb that they brought out there with them. They didn't have to go send for that. They brought that out there with them. And they want you to believe that they did that because some black folks complained about their neighbors.
So it says here, if you Google MOVE, the MOVE organization were a group of mostly black, freedom and nature-loving activists who lived in Philadelphia in the early 70s to early 80s, until the Philadelphia Police Department dropped a bomb on their house from a helicopter on May 13, 1985, silencing their central figure, John Africa. Two questions. We're going to talk about John Africa, but who was the mayor at that time that gave the order for the police department at that particular time to drop a bomb on now the pictures that I'm looking at after they dropped the bomb is ridiculous. They took out a whole block.
A whole neighborhood. They took down Osage Avenue and the block behind us, Pine Street. And the reason why it took down Osage and Pine Street is because the fire department, firefighters who were there from the very beginning, who were the first mode of attack against us, using 4 deluge hoses, 4 fire hoses that they say pump out 10,000 pounds of water per minute. They had 4 of them. So that's 40,000 pounds of water per minute that they aimed at us for hours when there was no fire. But when they dropped that bomb, and the bomb ignited a fire, and they were aware of it igniting a fire immediately, they knew it. The fire department didn't put 1 drop of water on it. A decision was made to let it burn.
So someone is asking, Sister Africa, were there any other casualties other than the members of MOVE in the surrounding houses?
Only our animals, our dogs and cats. There were no other human, death.
Okay, so Ramona, I asked the question earlier, who was the mayor? Am I correct by saying it was Mayor Wilson Good?
Yes, you are. The first black mayor of Philadelphia, a man who met with MOVE, talked with us before he became mayor, when he was managing director, got all kinds of documentation and information from us, said he understood it, but that he was only the managing director and that he was running for mayor, and should he become mayor, he would have more authority and could do something to right this wrong, this injustice that we were complaining about. Once he became mayor, we couldn't get anywhere near him. He wouldn't return any calls. We couldn't get anything out of him.
Wow.
And, the thing is also, our people really have to take strong stance when we see situations like this.
Right.
The black clergy held a candlelight vigil for Wilson Good the night of that bombing.
Wow.
Not for our babies that were burned to death, or our adult sisters and brothers, or our animals, but for Wilson Good. They spearheaded the re-election campaign of Wilson Good and got him re-elected mayor after the bombing.
Wow. Okay, so now this went down in 85. And we lost John Africa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Explain to the people and give us just a quick synopsis of who this man was and what he built.
Okay. There was a big sign at MOVE headquarters back in 78 when they attacked my family under then Mayor Frank Rizzo. The sign said, "Long stand the house that John Africa built." And after demolishing MOVE headquarters when they attacked our family in 1978, they had one of the, I don't know what you call them, earth movers, one of these big machines. It picked up the sign, whoever was operating it, picked up the sign and was like shaking it, like, they couldn't stand that sign, "Long stand the house that John Africa built."
Right.
And that's another reason why they demolished it. But they did not understand that what that sign was an indication of was not bricks and mortar. The house of John Africa is the MOVE organization.
Right, exactly.
And John Africa's house is still standing, still fighting.
Right.
You know, still uncompromising.
Right.
And in terms of who John Africa is, let me give you just one outstanding example among many, many, many.
Mm-hmm.
John Africa, along with other MOVE members, was arrested in Rochester, New York by the federal government May 13th of 1981. John Africa was brought back here to Philadelphia to stand trial for all of these trumped up charges they put on him. International terrorism, bomb making charges. I mean, you name it, they put it on John Africa.
Right.
He was facing like 150 years in prison.
Wow.
John Africa, along with my brother Mo Africa, they were co-defendants, represented themselves in court. John Africa, a black man, walked into court every day with these boots on, old boots, jeans, worn sweatshirt, long knotty hair, with no political or economic influence, illiterate according to system standards, did not go past the third grade, and didn't take in much of anything in school those 3 years up to the third grade. Represented himself. He did not make any opening statement. He raised one objection to the entire procedure.
Wow.
He presented no testimony or evidence. He made a closing statement explaining who he is, what his belief in life means,
Right.
and spoke on his innocence. This was not a legalized closing statement. John Africa walked into that courtroom pretty much every day, slapped the main federal prosecutor on the back, and said, "You know you're going to lose. I'm going home, and I'm taking my brother Mo Africa with me."
Wow.
I mean, what federal prisoner even touches any kind of federal official,
Right.
let alone, you know, slapping them on the back, telling them that they're going home? Well, that is exactly what John Africa did, and he was a man of his word because he was acquitted by the jury of every single charge and walked out of there.
Wow.
A free man. One very important thing, he put his head down on that table, the defense table, every day and went to sleep. Went to sleep. That's how confident
Wow.
John Africa was
Wow.
in his innocence and his acquittal.
Right.
This is an unprecedented example, but you don't hear about it
Right.
except for MOVE. That's who John Africa is.
So it says
That's power he commands.
it says on News One, the only child survivor. His name was Birdie Africa, but he later changed his name to Michael Ward. He ran.
Changed his name to Michael Ward. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and it says he ran out of the burning house naked and covered in flames. He survived third-degree burns and went on to live a normal life. So he's the only surviving child, and you were the only surviving woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And just to correct what News One said, Birdie was not naked when he came out of that house.
All
He
right.
had pants on. He didn't have any shoes, socks, or a shirt on, but he had shorts on.
Right. Okay, so let's bring it up to present. where is the MOVE organization now? What is the mindset of the people that support MOVE? And talk to us about Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Okay. MOVE's focus right now, and has been since before May 13th of 85 and since then, is the release of our innocent family members,
right,
known as the MOVE 9. They have been in prison despite their innocence for going on 39 years. This year. It will be in August. You're talking about almost 4 decades. The government knows our family is innocent. The parole board continuously denies our family parole since minimum expired in 2008. And they have seen the parole board at least 7 times since then. And they continue to deny our family parole, saying that our family refuses to take responsibility for their offenses. What offenses? They did not kill Officer James Lamp, and they're not going to say that they did, you know.
Right.
So that's where MOVE is at right now. Continuing and escalating the fight for the release of our family. That is what this conference that we have organized this weekend is about. We're having a 3-day conference, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so that MOVE can tell people who MOVE is. Not the media, not people who think they know, but people will be able to hear about MOVE from MOVE, what our belief is.
Right.
You know, for years, ever since MOVE, which is going on like 45, 46 years now, people have criticized and ostracized MOVE basically for every aspect of our belief, from natural childbirth to the way we wear our hair, to eating raw food, to homeschooling our children, you know, for composting, which MOVE didn't call it composting. We just did it. We fed the earth that feeds us.
Right.
They put a cute little word called composting on it, and now it's the green thing to do. It's acceptable. You find raw food restaurants from the West Coast to the East Coast.
That's right. And white people locking their hair.
Exactly. Exactly. The locks. You see athletes with the football helmets on and locks hanging out of them. You see all kinds of celebrities with locks now. You know, natural childbirth is the thing these days.
Exactly.
Homeschooling.
Yes.
Is all the rage. Everything that John Africa put in MOVE over 40 years ago that we were criticized and ostracized for is now the accepted thing to do.
Right.
You know? So this is another reason why MOVE is so committed to our belief. Not because this system, people in this system have started accepting it, but because we understood the righteousness of it from the beginning and was willing to deal with the criticism and ostracism of people who didn't know any better, and just the racists and haters as well.
Right. Okay, so now we're in the present. You have to give the people one more time the address, email, or phone number, or a website where they can go to attend this event this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Where's it going to be held?
It's going to be held at the Universal Arden Reed Charter High School. It's at 33rd and Tasker in Philadelphia. People that want more information about it can go to our website, which is onamove.com, ONAMOVE.com. People can call me at 215-386-1165. We don't hide from people. We're not anonymous. You know, people can actually call and talk to me, talk to Move people. Our email address is onamove, ONAMOVE, LLJA for Long Live John Africa, at gmail.com.
So you mind if a couple of my soldiers in the field put the number up on Facebook Live? That's 215-386-1165. That's 215-386-1165 to get information for this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Philly with the Move organization, to hear from the Move organization on what they're about, what their goals are, their plans are, what actually happened in 1985, and just overall get to know the people of Move. I want to be able to take some questions from some people that want to chime in. Do you mind?
Absolutely. I love questions.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it out there to the people. If you want to ask Ramona Africa any questions surrounding the Move organization, anything, because what she just laid out is basically what your white next door neighbors are already doing: the natural childbirth, eating raw foods, locking their hair, and doing all kind of things. You understand that they accused the Move organization of doing in the way they were by wearing their hair natural and these kind of things. So I think if the people would Google or just look on the search engine and look at the Move organization, I have a couple of pictures right here in front of me. Beautiful black family with locks, just, you know, your average black family that you would see, sad to say, but at Kroger's Krogering or at Whole Foods somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? But the United States government, along, you said local, state, and federal government, moved on Move organization, and it ultimately ended in Wilson Good, a black man, we call him No Good Wilson Good, dropping a bomb, taking out a few blocks, and killing the members of Move. So just from my understanding, what role did Mumia play in the Move organization, so people could be clear?
Okay. Mumia Abu-Jamal has been a journalist since the early 70s, and he is the only journalist that consistently and accurately covered the Move organization. Mumia would go into the prisons and interview Move people when Move got arrested. Mumia would come and talk to Move people on the street to find out from Move, what we believe and what we wanted to say. Mumia would cover our demonstrations, our court cases. He would go and talk to cops and other officials as well. He wouldn't just talk to Move, He talked to them as well, the ones that would talk to him. But he told the truth. And for telling the truth, he earned the scourge of officials and cops, particularly then Mayor Frank L. Rizzo, who is notorious. There's not many people who don't know about the legend of Frank Rizzo.
Right.
Brutality and racism. So Mumia would cover issues of interest to the people. That's the kind of journalist Mumia is, not was, is.
Right.
That's why he earned the name Voice of the Voiceless. And on December 9th of 1981, basically he was set up. He was driving a cab to supplement his income because he was a freelance journalist.
Right.
He did work for NPR at some point. He was a newspaper journalist for several different newspapers. He was a radio journalist, for various radio stations. But they tried to control him and tell him what he could report on and how. And Mumia was not having it. He is an excellent journalist. He could have been the next, Ed Bradley, Morley Safer, any of these big, well-known journalists. But that's not what Mumia was going for.
Right.
He wanted to be a journalist of the people and for the people.
Right. Okay.
And he would not let them control him. And he was an independent journalist, a freelance one. And he was driving a cab this night of December 9th. He let out a fare at 13th and Locust Street in Center City, Philadelphia. It's known as the Red Light District. And he saw a cop car pulled over and the lights flashing. And being a journalist, Mumia got out of the cab after he took care of the fare he let out and was walking over to see what was going on. And to make the story short, what he found was this young white cop, beating his brother, Billy, Mumia's brother, Billy. Mumia starts going over to try to get the cop off his brother and ends up being shot, and was sitting on the curb shot when the rest of the cops pulled up. Now, Mumia was licensed to carry a gun, a 36 caliber gun. And he had it on him because he had been robbed twice while driving a cab. Now, this cop that was shot and killed, according to the ballistics expert, was shot with a 44 caliber weapon.
Wow.
They realized that they had Mumia there, and that's all they cared about. That's all they cared about. So they framed him up, set him up for the murder of this cop. And ever since that day, more and more evidence has been coming out showing Mumia's innocence and the frame up that put him on death row until the people continued to fight and would not accept it and got him off of death row. His sentence was commuted to life in prison without parole, without the possibility of parole. And we the people ain't accepting that either. We're still fighting that. Mumia just had a hearing in court a week ago, this past Monday, and got a favorable verdict about the DA, District Attorney's Office, having to turn over evidence that Mumia's defense team has not seen before. So I guess that's a step in the right direction.
Okay.
But also, Mumia found out in 2012, I believe it was, that he has hepatitis C. And we have been fighting to get Mumia the cure called Harvani for, the cure for hepatitis C.
Right.
And the Department of Correction has been fighting us tooth and nail. Mumia contracted hepatitis C from the treatment he got back in 1981 when he was shot. But he didn't know it until 2012 I believe it was.
Oh, okay.
And the DOC, Department of Correction, fought tooth and nail against giving Mumia the cure for the hepatitis C. And just recently, like a week and a half ago, gave in and said, okay, we'll give it to him. And that's when we found out, when it came out, that not only does Mumia have hepatitis C, but because the Department of Corrections would not treat it, he now has cirrhosis of the liver.
Wow.
Liver is really bad.
Yeah. Okay, so let's keeping the spirit of the Move 9 alive in the hearts and the minds of the people. Can you name the brothers and sisters?
Absolutely. First of all, we lost two of our family members. We lost our sister Ramona Africa, who was killed in prison by this system.
Wow.
In March of 1998 after 20 unjust years in prison. Our brother Phil Africa was killed in prison in January of 2015, 2 years ago this year. And they both died, and we were told they died of natural causes. You're talking about strong, healthy Move members. Merle was 47, I believe. Phil was in his early 50s, I believe. Exercise, ran, healthy, okay?
Right.
And they died of natural causes. What is natural causes? They didn't just go to sleep and not, so that's two of our family members. And then we have Janine Africa, we have Janet Africa, we have Debbie Africa, we have Mike Africa, Eddie Africa, and Delbert Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a couple of questions that came up. What was the original complaint? Like, what was the actual complaint that brought all that set and sparked all of this? Like, just something simple, like the way you guys lived?
You're talking about in 85?
Yes.
Okay. Part of the neighbors complained about us feeding stray animals and composting. They didn't like it. They had a problem with it, And the actual charges in the warrants that they came out there with in May of 85. Oh, the other thing that the neighbors didn't like is that we had a bullhorn, a loudspeaker attached to our house. But contrary to, the way it's always portrayed, like we had loudspeakers and we were on the loudspeaker all day, every day, all hours of the day and night. That's a lie. That is not true. We had too much work to do with our children, with our animals, with organizational activities. We were not on any loudspeaker all night and all day. That just was not true.
Do you think
but that's thrown in there to try to substantiate that move? We're crazy, we're unreasonable. That's not true.
Do you think this is the reason why Black organizations like Dr. York's organization, Nuwaubians and whoever, just kind of bought some land and this was tucked away somewhere, away from people, and they still moved on them? There's other organizations that they've actually moved on. Do you think when we keep to ourselves and just kind of do our own thing, it bothers and disturbs them in some kind of way?
Well, it probably does, because they just don't want us to exist.
Wow.
But the thing is, what John Africa have opened our eyes to is, one, the understanding that you cannot run from a problem. The only thing you can do about a problem is solve the problem, eliminate the problem. You can't run from it.
Right. What's the lesson? What's the lesson for these young kids?
Like the example you just gave, it don't matter where you go.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It still come down on you. We had moved people in Richmond, Virginia before August 8th of 78. When they had their plan down pat to come and attack Move, August 8th of 78. 3 days before that, they went right down to Richmond, Virginia and attacked our family and brought the adults back here to Philly.
Wow.
Put them in jail. So you can't run from it. You got to deal with it. You have to solve the problem. Can't run from it. You have to be committed to fighting and doing what is necessary to solve the problem and eliminate the problem.
Right.
Or you're not doing anything. You're accomplishing nothing.
There's a question I have here. It says, what's the lesson for people today, for these organizations today that basically are doing the same thing that the Move organization, the way the Move organization live? There are people living like that today. What's the lesson? What can they pull from it?
The lesson is, when you see an example and you see the government trying to distort and defame and eliminate that example, you need to take a good hard look, because that should tell you something. It should tell you that I'll give it a 1% and say that 99% of the time it's a righteous example, and this government is afraid of it and just wants to eliminate it because it's a threat to them.
Right. So they were doctored.
Take a good hard look when you see the government coming at somebody like they came at Move.
Wow. So there were documentaries made about this, I'm sure?
Yeah, there are a number of documentaries on that website that I gave, our website. There are documentaries that people can purchase through our website. There's a book called, a pamphlet, I should say, it's not a thick book, but it's called 25 Years on the Move. And it gives you a really good understanding, not only of Move's belief, but history, our history.
Okay. We're about to close in about 5 or 6 minutes. What do you want to leave with the people? Of course, leave the address and the phone number again, where they can attend the event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm glad you're doing it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because it leaves no excuse why the people shouldn't come down at least one day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel pretty confident that it's going to be very well attended, because our phone hasn't stopped ringing. Our email it's unbelievable. People are coming from all across this country and from outside of this country. So I'm pretty confident that it's going to be very well attended. So again, it's Friday at the Universal Arden Reed Charter High School, 33rd and Tasker Street in Philadelphia, the Southwest Philadelphia. On Friday, we will be there from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we'll be starting with what MOVE really believes in,
okay,
who John Africa is, and why this system wants to exterminate us, because that is their aim.
Right. So Saturday's at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, Saturday. I'm sorry. Yeah, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then from 6 to 9 p.m. there will be some entertainment.
Okay, and then Sundays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
All right.
That will be the history of MOVE. After Friday, when we tell people what our belief really is and who John Africa is,
right,
and why the system wants to kill us, then Saturday we'll start with the emergence of MOVE and go through our history.
Okay, can you give us one or two of the names of the documentaries that people can do the research?
Okay. MOVE Confrontation is one, and that is from May of 77 up through and a bit of the aftermath of the August 8th, 1970
right,
police attack on MOVE. Then on that same DVD, there happens to be two films on that particular one. There's a documentary called MOVE, and that was done by some film students at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. And that one is really good as well, because people can't try to label it as just a MOVE propaganda piece,
right,
because Osage residents are on there. People are saying things that are like not favorable to MOVE, but we have an opportunity to say what we feel like needs to be said,
right,
and some things come out in that film that will surprise people. That's called MOVE, just MOVE.
right.
A journalist, Lynn Washington, who was at both confrontations, covering it on the street, he interviewed some stakeout cops in 1978. And he talks about how they told him they know MOVE didn't kill that cop, James Lamb. They have an idea who did it, but they will never say it publicly, and it will never be put out there because they're just not going to do it.
So once again, brothers and sisters, this is Ramona Africa from the MOVE organization. They have an event this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The phone number to call is 215-386-1165. It's 215-386-1165. For the 2 minutes we have left, any closing remarks, anything you'd like to leave with the people?
Yeah, the one thing I always want people to really understand and incorporate in their lives is never accept anything that's wrong, no matter who it's coming from.
Right.
When you know that this system is not operating in your interest, and all you got to do is look around you to see that.
Right.
It poisons your air, pollutes your water, poisons the soil that feeds you, is the cause of mass incarceration
right.
of tons of innocent people. Don't accept it. Don't be part of it.
Right. Right.
Stand up and fight back.
Exactly. All right, sister, we really appreciate you. Long live the spirit of John Africa. We're going to free MOVE 9, and we're just going to push forward. And we're drawing and extracting these lessons from you, and we really appreciate you. All right?
Well, I appreciate you, Professor Griff, for giving me the opportunity to speak to your listening audience and invite them to our conference, but also to just give them a glimpse of who MOVE really is.
Okay, give thanks, sister. We really appreciate you, all right?
On the move.
On the move. All right, brothers and sisters, that was Pam. Why do I keep saying Pam? Pam's on my mind. Man, Ramona Africa from the MOVE organization. Those are valuable lessons that we should learn today. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to Mamiya Abu Jamal and all the political prisoners. I see a lot of people with Tupac tattoos and quoting Tupac. Tupac family members was incarcerated on some political stuff from the government. So we got to get real about this because it easily can happen to you like it happened to them. On the move, brothers and sisters. This is Professor Griff. Revolution is not an event. It's a process. I love y'all to life, but I got to go. Our time is up. Peace, Soleil. Love you to life. Peace. I'm out.